Welcome to Subramani. This is a very rare and a very negative thread that I am making. Very negative in the sense I am saying what all people do to destroy their companies. So I am not sure whether I am getting the sequence right, but well, these are the things that they do. First is talk a lot about their own success and how they are so great. Look, anybody and everybody who writes their story, make sure that he is the narrator and he is the hero, and you cannot go wrong. Like in my story, I am the hero. Very rarely will I tell you the villainous part of my life, but the person who is hearing or the person who is really paying attention and listening would look at and say, well, it doesn't sound so great after all, right? So something like that. So if you constantly keep announcing how you, whatever you have achieved, whether you're a company or whether you're an individual, I think people get sick of it. People don't want to hear it again and again saying, oh God, here comes loudmouth and talking about his whatever. Like they say, never be found with an author with his first book or a woman with her first child, because they cannot stop talking about it. So whether it is about a book or about a company which they run or anything. So if you are running a company, there is only one sign of success, and that's cash. So if you can create enough cash that you think cash is coming out of your nose, ears, mouth, and where have you, then you are successful. You don't need to announce your success. You need to keep announcing your success when there is no cash. When some of the employees are telling you that there are other issues and things like that, you realize that okay, the company is not so great after all, because many people forget that you get information not only from one source but from many sources. So whatever you think is success, it may be great, it may be fantastic, but don't keep announcing it. It does not really matter. Another thing which I find very funny, very odd, is when the CEO of a company asks you, how are my people? Right? I don't know whether it's a rhetorical question, whether they really want to know the truth, because ultimately it is the CEO who has put them there, right? Even if you're an MNC or whether you're a domestic manufacturer or you're a software services provider or you're a mutual fund, what is the point in asking people, asking outside vendors, how are my people? Because I remember one AMC asking me, how are my people? And I said, well, they're good. He said, no, they're not good, because if they were really good, if they were really smart in 2002 when they heard you, they should have gone off and started off on their own, and today they would be doing much better. He says, we're all scared, we're all that's why we're here, and therefore they are employed here. So he was very clear that they were not really the best, they did not have the guts. But what is the point in berating your employees in the presence of outsiders or berating your clients in the presence of other clients? Does not serve its purpose. So don't do that. These are all things which are here to destroy your credibility completely. Don't berate your employees, and don't berate your employees in the presence of other employees. That is even worse. Don't berate your clients in the presence of other clients. Don't give those examples. Not a very sensible thing to do. And when you keep addressing your employees as a team of 10 people or 15 people or 50 people, largely see whether you are spending enough time with the customer. One feeling I get is when you don't have enough guts to spend time with the customer, you spend time in the office, whether it is cleaning the office, whether it is addressing the staff, whether it is doing mundane things or whatever. If the more time you're spending inside the office means you have less guts to go and meet the customer, lest he say or she says something which you don't want to hear. So largely, if that is the reason and you're not very successful, or if you're successful, it has to be in spite of this. It's very doubtful whether you really will be successful. So talking bad about others does not really serve any purpose, because then I don't judge you by what you say, I judge you by what you're doing. So I'm sure that somebody else will come and say those things. So these kind of companies are very easy to be bought out by outside forces by just talking to 5 employees and saying, just can you move over and let's take over this company. The useful portions will move over, the other portions will get left over, right? So these things. Another thing which I find very funny is when people try to play around with facts thinking you cannot check back. Now this is really odd because some of us may be able to check back some of the things which this person says. So right from simple things to more complicated things, sometimes when you can check back, you realize that, well, it was not so much of the truth, right? Some part of the truth got hidden. So when you lose credibility because of misusing facts, deciding to say part of it and not deciding to say the full part of it, right? So all these things again destroy your credibility with your customers, with your employees, even with your boss, right? So make sure that you don't do some of those foolish things. And again, talking about your own employees in a bad way to customers, that's even worse. Talking bad about customers to your employees, that's again bad, because some of them could go and join the competition. So be very, very careful, ultra careful about what you say about your employees to other employees, about your employees to clients. And for heaven's sake, when you're giving negative feedback, do it on one-to-one basis and don't do it on one-to-many basis, right? So some of these things which you do completely ruin your reputation. You will have people leaving, you will have customers leaving, you have all that. And when that happens, it's very difficult to introspect and see what really happened, unless you have an excellent friend who understands human psychology, HR, etc., and puts the context to why people have quit, right? Or why people are refusing to join, why you can't build a team, why you say something and you're contradicting yourself. You say you're a big CA firm, you say you will get holidays for your studying, and then you don't give holidays. Could be such small things because of which people go away, people don't come, and those who come are asking others not to come. Make sure that your corporate credibility stays intact and you don't mess around with it by doing these foolish things. Thank you.